In this video, I will be demonstrating how to export a Dolby Vision encoded file from inside DaVinci Resolve utilizing the Desktop Processing Kit or DPK functionality. It is important to note that the settings we will cover are designed merely as a guide and should be adjusted accordingly to your specific needs. For this tutorial, I am going to export in Dolby Vision straight from the timeline. I have already performed the HDR grade, ran the Dolby Vision analysis, and performed some trims. If you are going to import a finished Dolby Vision mezzanine, make sure that the Dolby Vision settings inside Resolve match to the Dolby Vision metadata. Straight encoding in Dolby Vision from existing HDR10 or even HLG sources requires matching the output settings to the mastering monitor in use, then enabling Dolby Vision, and finally selecting the matching mastering display. It is important to state that you are free to set and choose your color science settings that correctly matches and manages to your color preference settings in your project, and that the important thing here, again, is to set the output color space to match the HDR mastering display. My sample project has been created using a 1000 nit P3 D65 ST2084 mastering display. I'm now going to move from the color page to the deliver page so that I can set my options for the encode. Select the H265 master preset from the available presets at the top of the render settings window. Choose a file name and browse to the location to where the encoded file will be saved. Check the export video box and choose either MP4 or QuickTime for your format. I will deselect the quality setting from automatic and set the bitrate to restrict to 20,000 kilobytes a second. There are many factors that impact the data rate chosen for video encode. However, as a suggestion, for typical low frame rate content, quality should be set to a minimum of 15,000 to 20,000 kilobytes per second for UHD and 10,000 to 15,000 kilobytes a second for HD encodes. Set the encoding profile to main 10 for a Dolby Vision delivery. Lastly, we are going to scroll down and set the Dolby Vision profile to Profile 5 for this render. When encoding to Dolby Vision, the color space tag and gamma tag in the delivery pane are not used. The Dolby Vision encoding configures these settings automatically for the selected profile. I'm using Profile 5.0 as my example because Profile 5 will preserve the analysis as well as my trim Dolby Vision metadata. Use Profile 8.1 if you haven't created any Dolby Vision metadata, as it will be generated on a frame-by-frame basis during the encode, and also needs cross-compatibility to the HDR10 devices. Use Profile 8.4 if you haven't created any Dolby Vision metadata, as it will be generated on a frame-by-frame basis during the encode, and if you're going to upload the encode to an online platform like Vimeo or Bilibili, where you also need cross-compatibility with HLG devices. Now that all our settings are complete, you can add this job to the render queue. Resolve will now use the DPK functionality built in to generate an HEVC bitstream Dolby Vision Profile 5.0 encode. Once the render is completed, your encoded file is now ready for review and can be uploaded to an iCloud account or sideloaded onto an iPad or copied onto a USB stick and plugged into a Dolby Vision enabled TV.